Hello, 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 hello. My name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel, Cool Claire ASMR. So, for today's video, I will be showing you some of my collages and doing some tracing and maybe some explanation of my meaning or thought process behind them. So first I want to show you my art journal, my collage journal itself. It is this Keith Haring moleskin notebook that is red. And on the cover here it says art is for everybody. Art is for everybody. Art is for everybody. And it has these TV screen family on it. And then I put Claire does collage. Claire does collage. Look how thick this is. And I literally have so much more that I can fill into it. Get some good page sounds. Alright, let's change to an overhead view and get started. Alright, so here is my collage art journal again. Do some more tracing in this view. You can see the image of this family of screen people. You can take what you will from the commentary on that art. And then I put Claire does collage with the stickers that came with this moleskin. Alright, to go to the one I want to show you. Alright, let's start with this one. So, in this one I have a nice, I don't know, desert scene I would say. And I have blended in some faces and some hair as well with the rocks. And then it says things you needed. And then at the top I put some things. So, friendship, power, $500, question mark. Help, happiness, reality check, success, money, sleep, music. And then I also blended these eyes. You can see her eyeshadow almost blends perfectly with the sky. And then some other little pieces of the collage that I saw. Alright, let's look at the next one. Next I have this map. And this that says dream, big. And this little guy that's saying, sorry, I've gone through a lot. So kind of indicating that he can't even think about his future right now because he's so stressed out about the present. And if you watched my collage with me video, then you know that I like to start with a background image and then kind of build from there. So for this one, I started with the map, and then I found this Dream Big, and that in itself could be like a good ad for traveling. But then I added this little boy here, and his little look of distress with his hands over his face definitely changes the tone of the whole collage, but I thought that was interesting. I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly because I want to show you several. Okay. Next we have this one, and I tried to experiment with like cutouts a little bit. So it says it's natural, and that's beautiful with this picture of trees in the background, and then I've also done a little hand sketching around the corners here. And did a little pink and blue bend. And then I also drew on her as well. I cut out the hair in the picture and her swimsuit, so the tree image would fill in. And then actually when I was making this, I ripped her wrist right here. So that's why I found some text that went with it, because originally I just wanted it to be the background in her, but I think that text works really well, so it worked out okay. And obviously just, natural beauty and accepting yourself as you are, but also with a little flair, because we like to, I personally like to get dressed up and wear makeup and stuff like that. Next, I have kind of a scary one here, and it says, "Meet your mask, it girl." It has all these different women's faces with the eyes cut out, and I drew some comically red blood. And if you can see in the background, there's like some cactus. And this is just kind of like models being the face of how women should look, and I don't know. I made these a long time ago. Lots of themes of beauty culture present, because I basically only had a fashion magazine when I first started collage. Like, I was pulling all of this and like this out of the same magazine. I have a lot more now, so the themes definitely changed based on like the material that I have. This one occurred once I got some National Geographics. National Geographic. I always want to say Geographics. National Geographic magazines. So we got the nice space background, and then this mountain, and these three hikers. 1, 2, 3. And then this little, "We discovered a crack in the earth that feeds another world." And actually that text was from an article about the coral reef, but I thought it applied nicely to this space scene. And as you can see, I kind of destroyed the corner here, so lots of trial and error collaging into such a small book, but I have gotten the hang of it as I've moved forward here. But this one is still one of my favorites, despite the kind of wonky second page here. A crack the next one I want to show you is this one. Again, you can kind of see as what material I had evolved, because I obviously had a National Geographic with a lot of space imagery in it. So here we go again. We got this lady. Oh, yeah, the hair. We got this lady's head, and she's relaxing, and I gave her a third eye at the top here, and some Jupiter cheek decorations, and her head is just floating in space, and it says, "This could be you. This could be you." So that one for me definitely means, like, I don't know, you could be focused on, I don't know, things greater than yourself, I guess, is my point. You could be Zen Enlightened, so on and so forth. And I just think it looks pretty cool. Okay. Again, more space here. And then I got these little cowboys too. So my space background. And then these two little boys who are from the same picture. Cowboy hat. This little guy peeking out the corner here. And we got Saturn for his face. And it says, "A promise. The past is a wonderful place to visit." And the text is definitely inspired by the image of these two boys, because nostalgic times and childhood can be nice to think about, but your brain kind of adds a weird spin to them. So here's a bit of surrealism. Is always an element in my art. Okay. Next is this one. It says, "Look up in the sky. Go ahead, make a wish." So on this side of the image, we got some lips and some red flowers that were a similar shade. The red lips and the red definitely is kind of like the tying element that was like helping me pick all these images, because then we have this woman, and again I cut out her hair so this cloud image could be her hair, and then a little red in the corner there, so that ties in the looking up into the sky and making a wish because it's like her head. And then I just used some from this over her eyes to tie the green in. And I think this one is very balanced with the colors, so I do like that. And any of the ones that I'm not showing, it's because I don't know, maybe save them for another video. I don't want to show every single one. Next we have It's Growing Harder to Survive, Requiem or Recovery. This one's kind of interesting because I made it in 2019, and it seems to be like influenced by the pandemic with like the bat and everything, and elements of like death and peril and whatever. But it is not. I made it before any of that happened. So we got this little graduate and some lava in the background, and the bats. So it's kind of taken new meaning as, you know, current events unfolded, but the original meaning was just kind of like, I'm about to graduate nursing school and I'm afraid. But, you know, it became much more literal, you know, half a year later. But I also just thought this image of this bat in flight was super cool. National Geographic always has some super cool photography in their books. So, and I like this one because it's going vertically instead of horizontal. Mix it up a little bit. Okay. And again, like her little gown tied into the lava, because a lot of my image composition, I don't know, I like to try to match colors. Okay. Just gonna keep going through a couple more here. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, another vertical one. So it says, the world inside your head. Share it with a friend. So to me, this one just kind of means like, you got stuff going on, maybe you should talk to a friend, or like sharing art, as in like the imaginary world inside your head. Either way, and you know, even though I'm telling you this is what I think that the art I made means, you can still think something different, because that's the great thing about art, is we can all have individual interpretations, even that differ from the artists themselves. But I liked that I started using some ripped paper for this one. I think this look of the ripped edges is very cool, and less of a completely full look. I have, you know, some of the paper exposed, which in a lot of my other ones I don't have that. And then this woman looking very sad in the center, and the image is very dark and hard to see. And then again, adding this yellow here to tie in the text, that bright yellow text, because without it, you know, it's a very dark image and then that pops. I think it would still look cool, but I wanted to layer all this paper on it, so yes. And then we have this one here that doesn't have any sort of message, and it's just imagery, which again is kind of an experiment for me, since a lot of them had text on them. Anyway, again, we got, basically I just wanted to mix a lot of this like kind of blue and brown colors and like some red. So we got some space stuff, some water, some fish, this guy who's scuba diving in all of it, but then there's this woman's face this way. But you can look at it either way, in my opinion, but I think it looks the best this way. So I'll give you a closer look here. And then I also put those jellyfish stickers on there. This one feels like a game of I Spy, because there's a lot of different textures and patterns and images going on. Alright. I have a couple more I want to show you. So this one, again, new material. I had got some books from Goodwill to make collage with. And this lady here is one of the president's wives. I don't know which one, but I got her out of a book about first ladies, about president's wives, which, okay. And I just said, never settle for good enough. So I've talked about me being a perfectionist, or trying to be a perfectionist. So I think that just kind of reflects that mindset. But, you know, trying to leave that behind me. And then did some rosy cheeks. I really wanted to show this one because I like the way that I used this busy abstract image and made her dress out of it and then colored it so it has nice contrast. So that's why I really wanted to show this one, because I just really enjoy that element of this collage. And then this one's very funny to me. It's better to bend than to break. Come together to create. And it has the creation of Adam and then this guy and his horse. So I made this one because those two images were very similar, because this guy's lifting up his shirt so the horse can touch his stomach, and then of course if you know that painting, then you know that God is almost touching Adam's hand. So I just switched it because I thought that was funny, and they're coming together to create art or life or little boop on the stomach there. And then just some nice florals, because you know, can't go wrong with some florals. So yeah, this one's a little chaotic, but it makes me smile every time I see it, just because drawing parallels between very like classic art and this guy and his horse is kind of humorous to me. Okay, so next one, I have this one, and it says, "There is hardly liftoff over." And this one's obviously inspired by my image of an astronaut. And I feel like this picture of the astronaut with like something in his helmet mask is like classic Tumblr collage. Because I know there was one that I liked that like had a bunch of flowers in it. So I kind of started to do that, but then I added the butterfly wing and the rainbow. And then I was out hiking and I actually found this wing on the ground, so I added it to this collage because it was pretty nicely preserved and I wanted to add it to my art. So little found object there. But yeah, this one definitely is just classic, like I said, Tumblr collage, but I do like it. And still using that space National Geographic for everything it's worth. Here, I decided I do want to show this one. So then I have this image, and I had this diagram of a heart and how the blood flows out of it from school that I cut in half and painted red. And then I have these two people, which are like actors that I don't know the names of. But anyway, I did this kind of like dermatone topographic map vibes on their face. And I thought that looked pretty cool. And then I added some red to make the black and white images pop and said, "Is it love? Is it love? Is it love?" But yeah, I really do like this one because of the lines on their faces. And then this one here, I have this picture of a castle reflecting into a lake, and I flipped it so the reflection's on the top. And then this picture of Hunter Schafer in this green outfit that matched the background nicely. And then I found this that says, "Can we play tricks on time?" And this kind of gave me, like, the image without the words, kind of gave me like Alice in Wonderland, surreal vibes. So I felt like that went with the overall vibe of the image. Can we play tricks on time? And I added a little red and yellow to match her face and makeup. Here's another one without any words, and it's just kind of another, what did I call it? I Spy image with just a lot going on. So we have this woman, and she has a little ship in her head, and I gave her some sparkly eyes and some flowers down here on this side, and the sky, and some more flowers, and these hot air balloons. Again, I ripped the picture somehow, so I'm covering it up with more things. But I really liked how her makeup pops on her skin tone, so I like to pull in that blue and the pink up there in the image and kind of like merge the sky and the sea together here. And this is one that, I don't know, doesn't have any meaning per se, maybe just imagination, contemplation, or holding on to, complex thoughts, ideas, feelings, and so on. You can apply meaning however you want, and English class teaches us to kind of apply meaning to which there is none, but there's always meaning, because someone will always put their self onto other things. What is a thought on something subjective but a reflection of self, All right. The last one I want to show is this one that I made fairly recently. Another picture of Hunter Schafer from her Allure magazine, but I have this nice glacier background, and then I found this little image of these lights that I thought kind of mimicked this part of the image here nicely, and then I put a little bit of that behind her, and then at first I just had the lower half of her face, and that looked cool too, but I decided to add the eyes and little pieces of her forehead back in. And then it says, apparently it's a common feeling, this lingering obsession. And I spaced the words out like that because the word lingering, the letters themselves are lingering throughout the collage. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ones that I have made this year, so it's a good note to end on. And as you can see, I have so much more space to go, and my goal is to fill up this collage book if it doesn't completely collapse and separate from the binding before that, because look how thick it is already. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.